What happened in markets? This is our special segment about explaining what's going on with Donald and the dollar. So markets initially fell. Currencies that went up were, well, the dollar went down, and alongside markets, so the Japanese yen, safe haven, went up. So did the euro, so did the pound and the Swiss franc. Commodity currencies, risk currencies, the Aussie, Kiwi, Canadian dollar, and of course the Mexican peso went down. But then we had a big turnaround in the early hours here in the morning, sort of around, I would say, 6 GMT or something like that. First of all, we had a buy the rumor, sell the fact. Okay, so markets already had enough time to digest the fact that Trump was winning until the official announcement came. I mean, it was clear he won Florida. He had a good chance also in Virginia. And then he was leading Pennsylvania. And things looked good for him. It took another hour or two, and markets already turned around quite quickly, quicker than Brexit. Then we had his acceptance speech. Okay, he came out to his supporters and was very, very positive towards Clinton, very gracious, told all the world, don't worry, we will treat everybody fairly. And he was smiling, not the usual angry and vicious and nasty Trump that we know. So this spurred hope. We had a big turnaround in markets. So after the Nikkei fell for around 5%, European markets already opened a bit more mixed, and US markets opened more positive. In currencies, we had the yen, euro, Aussie, Kiwi, CAD, and Mexican peso all down, and only the Swiss franc was holding up, and also the pound, remember, Super Thursday. So that was the big day, Wednesday, last week, okay? But why was this big turnaround? So let's explain what's going on in markets. I mean, the rationality, okay? Let me explain. I do have doubts about this, but this is what markets think. Why did the dollar rise? Why did the dollar move up? Donald Trump in his campaign promised tax cuts, lots of them for the rich. Never mind, more tax cuts? That means less income for the government. He also promised lots of spending, not to hurt Medicare, Medicaid, all these programs. Okay, so more social programs, and also lots of infrastructure spending. So again, more government debt, bigger deficit, bigger debt. When you have a bigger deficit, bigger debt, you have to borrow more money from markets. You need to issue more bonds. So if you have more bonds, they lose value. When you have bonds losing value, of course, the yield is more attractive. And higher yields are usually correlated with a stronger dollar. But that's not the only explanation. More spending also means higher inflation. If you think that now people will have more money in their pockets because of tax, and the government will be spending, inflation will push higher. When there's higher inflation, we'll have more rate hikes. And we already heard from Fed officials that if there will be big fiscal stimulus, they will raise rates faster. When rates rise, the dollar rises as well, okay? So that's the explanation about what's going on in markets. We'll have to wait and see until the inauguration day on January 20th and I guess the first 100 days of Trump's presidency to see if this really turns into reality, okay? And we'll have to see his appointments now. I have doubts about it. That's why the headline here is really, and that's because, the logic goes that it's not only Trump that won, it's also that Republicans have full control of Congress. Senate and the House remain in Republican control. The Democrats did win some ground there, but not enough. So with the White House, the Senate and the House under Republican control, Trump can do everything he plans because everything will be approved, right? So here are the doubts. Republicans do oppose more debt, okay? They are in favor of tax cuts, yes, but they are also, at least in theory, about less spending. So how will these things ameliorate? Where is the middle ground, okay, between Trump's will to spend, and the Republicans who want to cut spending? And Trump is quite erratic. You can just note that after he met President Obama, he said that he will keep some provisions of Obamacare. after saying it's a disaster and he will totally repeal it. Trump is very erratic. I mean, he's very sensitive when you talk about his own businesses, but around policy doesn't, well, he cares mostly about himself. So anyway, these things are far, far, far from over. So any stupid speech from Trump, anything that Trump says, no, actually, you won't spend that much, you won't cut taxes that much, things can still change, okay? I believe there will be some fiscal stimulus. Also, Democrats are in favor, and there will be tax cuts because Republicans are in favor, but perhaps it won't be at the scale of Trump's programs that he talked about, that he published on a website online, okay? At the moment, let's take another look at the charts. Now let's go to euro dollar, for example, or euro dollar yen. We're seeing bigly moves, as Trump says, which is actually a word in English. I thought it's just a mistake by Trump, but actually it's a word that exists. So we're seeing the pressure continue. That means the US dollar is moving higher. Okay? Meanwhile, markets think higher dollar, well, more spending, more fiscal stimulus, and things will continue the same. Okay.